Well, hello there, digital peeps at YouTube's mkgtweety. And we're here on my porch today, my screened-in porch. So we're going to be outside, so there's going to be cars whizzing by, and all that. So please forgive that. Hello, YouTube. I know it's been a while, bitches. Yes, we know. Trying to get you. See, I got like a nice little bendy thing here. I got it off of Amazon. It was only like $11 when I bought it. So, yay. I love buying things off of Amazon. So, we're just trying to get this all nice and straight. So that you can see me somewhat. There we go. How's that, digital peeps? Okay. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm mkgtweety. I blog about childcare. So things you can do with kids. I talk about my life and mukbang sometimes on the channel, crafty things, all that kind of stuff. I did have a channel previous called mkgtweety. I've done something very, very, very stupid, which I didn't know was a rule at the time. Now I do, so I'm watching myself now. But if you want to know what that is, I got a link to... Oh, I'm not sure it's so wrong. I got a link to the video. Those are the first two videos I did on the new channel. So this is mkgtweety. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Wattpad, Tumblr, I am at mkgtweety on every one of those social platforms. Come follow me and we have a good time. mkgtweety does post on those thingies. We love Twitter. I know there's people that want to leave. Bye-bye. Don't worry, you'll be back. What has been going on here with mkgtweety, you might be asking? Okay, digital peeps. Well, April of this year, I turned 40. Woo! mkgtweety's middle-aged digital peeps. Yes, she is. April 21st, I did turn 40 years old. So I actually shared my birthday with the Queen of England. The Queen of England. The one that passed away. And Charles is now king, kind of thing. Yeah. William is actually a year older than me. I'm actually a year older than Harry. Harry's a year younger than me. So, there you go. Was following around in March, end of last year. My favorite thing in the whole entire world, Thomas. So you can go check her out. Play some of the best piano in the whole entire world. It's much better than Taylor Swift. That's just me. And we were following around for our Ocean tour because she posts things online about things going on with the tour. We follow along the set list because people tweet in the set list or they're at the show and they, we follow along what's going on at a wonderful place on Twitter called It's at Undented. I know they got a Facebook. I know they got a website. I know they haven't updated those in a long time, but it's okay. We follow everything on Twitter and we're cool. I think somebody named Woj and somebody named Violet run it. It's mostly Woj rather than Violet. But yeah, anyway. Let's see. I've been doing some gigs with my dad. As you know, I roadie with my dad. I help him set up and tear down his drums. So I have a trap case. It's about as tall as me. 191 pounds when filled. I know we got cars moving around. Sorry about that. And I lug that thing along out my dad. My dad plays for a band called the VIDS. You can go look them up online. I know one of the lead singers personally. His name is Chuck Blasco. And yes. There are some things going on with the band that I can't talk about right now. Rumor has it that one of our singers of the group is thinking of leaving. Don't know anything. I'm supposed to pretend like I don't know anything, like I haven't heard anything. So that's where we're going to leave it at that. My dad doesn't know what he wants to do. He is thinking at the end of the year of moving to another band. We don't know. We still got time to decide. But if he were to go to another band, I'll still be his brother. I'm riding down with my dad. So, kind of stuff about that. My mom's going through testing to get that stomach stuff done. She's going to have the gastric sleeve done. And today she's doing another test. She had this test done before, but it showed she had a few stomach ulcers from her pain meds. Got to switch all of her pain meds, and they gave her medicine to help her tummy heal. And now it's been about 3 months since she had the first one done. Now we're going today to see if it's going to happen. Because if her stomach's all better, then she can get her stomach stuff done. She had an emergency appendectomy. I think it was last year or the year before. Yeah, it was the year before that, I think. And I talked about it on my socials, so you can go find all that. Let's see, what else? You notice I had nice, colorful pictures on my socials, Twitter and Instagram. Those are my Wills and Wants pics. We were playing a game when she was on tour. It's called Wills and Wants. So it's 2 songs you think she will play, 2 songs you want played, and you choose a bonus song. And you get points if you got any of those songs. I had a few points myself, Digital Peeps, that I had gotten right. So, yay for me. I actually had one of my signature songs played twice. One time last year and one time this year. It's called Here in My Head. It's a B-side for Little Earthquakes. I wanted Maybe California and Happy Phantom, but they didn't get played. I have reasons for those. I'll tell you about those later. So I come on here today because school's going to start up soon, and I wanted to talk about. Now, I had made this specific type of video on my other channel that I used to have, and I thought, well, okay, we'll just rehash it again because it's school time. As you can see, I don't know whether you can see or not. See, I got things that are ding-a-linging. If you don't know something about me, something very, very interesting about me, I actually have ADHD, which I've had since '87. I was about 4 years old when I got diagnosed. And March 12th, 2018, I got diagnosed as a high-functioning autistic. So, yeah. I know it's like, wait a minute, mkgtweety. You're 40 years old, you have ADHD, and you're autistic. Oh, really? Like, I don't believe you. I don't know, why do you still live with your parents? Because of my learning difficulty. I'm actually 2 years learning disabled. I was supposed to graduate in '01, but I graduated in 2002. My mom held me back in kindergarten. And so, here we are today, Digital Peeps. I don't do things consistently sometimes. Like, if I made you a pot roast 3 different times, 2 out of the 3 times would be excellent. Something would be off about the 3rd. That's why I like to cook with my dad all the time, just to make sure I'm not missing any kind of steps or whatever. Yes, I do know how to cook things somewhat. You know, I love to cook by myself and try and improve my skills and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, all that kind of thing. I can't drive very well. I'm not a great driver. I tried to drive, but it just, yeah, a lot of my, I don't do certain things well. I have what I affectionately like to call a meltdown. I know you don't see me crying now, but, you know, if you yell at me or you say something in my face that's kind of hurtful, a lot of times my mom and dad and I will butt heads a lot on certain things. Not all the time, but there are those times, you know, when you butt heads with somebody and it's just like, you know. You know, I'd planned something for my mom and dad's anniversary coming up on August 17th, but they decided they wanted to do something else, and it kind of hurt my feelings that my plans were not taken into consideration. But once I kind of sat down and thought about it, I stewed with what was going on and everything. I said, all right, let's compromise. Can I at least make you the cake I wanted to make for your anniversary? We can go out to the restaurant, you know, because we were going to have steak and potatoes and a vegetable, and then I was going to make a dessert and have a nice huge salad. And they were like, you know what, we'd rather go to Longhorn. And I said, fine, all right, whatever. You know, things like that. So, I know I look very normal on the outside, but everything on me is internal, by the way. But anyway, back to what we were going to talk about today. Sorry, I went on a little tangent, but I have to explain myself and who I am. So 4 years of vocational child care. So I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this subject here. And I thought, well, back to school's coming up, and I figured, okay, let's rehash a video that I had made a long time ago, talking about a school routine that is nighttime and morning. That's very easy to follow, very easy to do. That would be helpful. That would get you out the door and save you a ton of time in the process. Okay? Now, I like to call it the at-7 plan. And why do I call it the at-7 plan? Because you do everything at 7 o'clock at night. And it should take you about an hour. And there you go. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying that if you have younger children, meaning children who are in a daycare or preschool, you need to take care of the younger kids first, then you move on to the older kids. So if one of your children or child is in daycare or preschool, you need to take care of those children first. Then you move on to your older kids. Okay? And what you can do is while you're working on your little kids, you can have your older kids be doing things, maybe to kind of help speed things along sometimes too. First thing we're going to talk about is you're going to start this in the kitchen of your house. And why is that? Because it's breakfast time, got to get the lunches, things like that. Well, before then, as I should say, you need to make sure the backpacks are ready to go. So they need to be in an area where you're going to be leaving, or wherever door you leave from in your house or your garage. Make sure they're by that door. Make sure they're packed, they're ready to go. They have everything they need, including your younger children if they go to daycare or / preschool, because many daycares are preschools too. I've worked in some of them over the years. So make sure that you take like a Clorox wipey and you wipe the backpacks down when they get home from school. Because you don't know who sneezed, who touched them, all that kind of shit. You don't know what kind of germs, so you're keeping germs at bay. If it's a cloth, if it's a vinyl one, cloth, I don't think you can just spray that down with some Lysol, but just make sure you keep them germ free and all that. That'll help cut down on some of the germs. So that's the first thing you're gonna do is the backpacks. Once the backpacks are done and ready to go, and make sure you have your kids do their homework as soon as they get home from school, like I had to. Because first of all, if they can hurry up and get it done. To me, I think homework doesn't need to be 20 million pages. Homework for me should be, if they're learning long division that day, they should get one page where they have to go home and there's long division. Now, I have a game for school-age kids on my Tumblr that I've made. It's called the Surfin' Math Game. I'll put a link to it in the description box below. I'll put a link to my bulletin boards, the ones I have for welcome to school kind of thing, welcome back students, some welcome back things. If you are a student yourself, or not a student, if you're a teacher in the daycare, in the preschool, or in the classrooms, I got some ones that have names on them and stuff. So I'll put the links to those in the description box below. But anyway, what am I trying to put here? Sometimes that can happen, digital peeps, so stay with me. So now that we've done the backpacks and, it's homework we were talking about. Make sure they do it first. I think, you just have the one page and then they turn it in or whatever. If you're worried about your child with the catch-up thing, with the whole COVID thing or whatever, I actually did the school zone workbooks, the ones for 3rd, 4th, 2nd, 1st grade. I was maybe off by one number. Sometimes. It would just be like maybe, like if you had a row of 20 problems, sometimes one of those problems would be off by one number. But so I was very, very, very good at that. I did the whole book. I think they're excellent. I think they're wonderful. That's what you should be doing during the summer, is getting actually those kind of workbooks and working with those just to make sure. I do not like what sometimes teaching in schools, the whole CRT thing. Children should not learn that, but that's just me. Just saying. So then after you do your backpacks, you're going to go into the kitchen and you're going to figure out what you're going to have for breakfast. Now, there is frozen waffles, there is muffins, there is frozen pancakes. If you're going to do any of those, now what you can do over the weekend is you can actually make pancakes and waffles and let them cool down and stick them in the freezer. And all you got to do is put them in a microwave or toaster. Make sure you get your syrup out if they like syrup and butter. Make sure you get a juice glass out, a plate, all that kind of stuff. Oatmeal is really good in the winter. Nice and hearty meal when it's winter time. If it's cereal, they get a bowl, they get their spoon, they get their little cup, and just have that all a napkin, all ready to go. Then that way you know what they're having for breakfast and you're not fighting over it, and all that kind of stuff. Then make the lunches. Now for me, a lunch. Now if they're going to go to preschool daycare or regular school-age kids is what we call them. That's anywhere from a kindergarten up until age 12. What I would consider a lunch is you have the drink. Make sure you have a little ice pack in there because you want to keep everything nice and cold. And as soon as they get home from school, make sure that ice pack goes right in the freezer. If you give it at least 12 hours of freeze time, it'll be ready to go, 12, 14, 16 hours. It'll be ready to go for the next day. And then after that, you want to do a main meal. So say you had macaroni and cheese, tuna, and vegetables last night for dinner. Or say you had nuggets or something. Or, the quintessential PB&J. Oh, that brings up another interesting question. mkgtweety, what if I find out in my daycare, preschool, or whatever, someone's allergic to peanuts? Good point. You want to make sure that the kid does not eat anything peanutty before they go to the preschool or daycare, because if they sit next to them and they eat something peanutty, the attack or the allergy might happen, and they cannot bring any PB sandwiches. So just watch, make sure everything is peanut free. So if they happen to sit next to the child, that they're not going to catch any kind of anaphylactic shock, because that's what we call life-threatening allergy. It happens with bee stings, it can happen with shellfish, all that kind of stuff. So just keep that in mind if you have somebody at the daycare or preschool who needs to be peanut free. So you have the quintessential PB sandwich or some kind of sandwich. You have a side, so like goldfish crackers would be a side. Carrots and celery with a dip would be, I know I got thingies binging all around, but we're on my porch, so please forgive me for that. Cars whizzing by. And then you have a dessert. So that would be like about 4, 5, 6 cookies. Apple would be a side or dessert. You can do Teddy Grahams. They make individual bags of Teddy Grahams. If you get one of those 20 packs of chips, with the snack size, that would be considered a side. So you have a dessert side and a main meal. That would be a lunch for me, in my mind. I know Go-Gurt's very popular. I know you can put them in the freezer. They thaw by lunch kind of thing, and they keep your stuff ice cold too. Pudding would be considered a dessert. Make sure you use plastic silverware, because then that way they're not going to use your silverware and accidentally throw it away. They can throw out the plastic stuff. You can get little thermoses for the drinks and all that kind of stuff. So we've made the lunches, and make sure when they come home that you also wipe down the lunch boxes, because if you don't know who sneezed on them at lunch, you don't know what happened to them during the day. So just kind of keeps the germs down a little bit. And then after you do the lunches, then you're ready to. You've done everything downstairs you're supposed to. Make sure they pick up the shoes. They put them by the book bags, because in that way everything's together and they know where everything is. Now we're going to go upstairs or to their bedrooms, and this is where the next part's going to come in at. So we've done part 1, which is we've gotten everything. This is getting ready for the night before. Because when you do the lunches the night before, you save a good 20-25 minutes at least. Okay? And make sure that what I would do to make sure that kids want what they want in their lunch, every Friday, what you should do is, what are you going to want for lunch this week? Write it down and make sure you have everything for the lunches, and then there you go, okay? All right. Then what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your younger kids, okay, and you're going to get them ready for bed. Now, how are we gonna do this? Okay, we're gonna pick out clothes the night before. That's the first thing you're gonna do. Okay, and you have them all together on the dresser with the socks and everything. If your daycare center says, make sure you always bring an extra set of clothes with you to preschool or daycare, because if something were to happen to the kids' clothes that they're wearing, at least they have an extra set of dry clothes to change into. Just remember that. So, if your daycare center says do that and you haven't done that, please do that. If they don't have a policy on it, ask them and say, you know what, can I bring and leave in their cubby an extra set of clothes in case something were to happen? Then they can have dry clothing. Okay? Alright, now, so what you're going to do is after you've gotten out the clothes, the everything's gotten out their clothes, you give the younger kids their bath. By the time they're done, they're ready to go to bed. Okay, younger kids should always go to bed first, then the older kids. Okay, so if say like the older kids can stay up until 9, okay. Well, by 8 o'clock, your younger kid should go to bed. And then the next youngest, and then the next youngest, until you've gotten right. So if they're 6 months old, they should be in bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then your 3-year-old should be in bed next. And then your 6-year-olds, the next day, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So, and then after you put your younger ones to bed, if you have younger children, if you have school-age children, say like 8, 9, 10, 7-year-old, have them get their clothes out of what they're going to wear for school tomorrow. And make sure that you approve, because I know some kids, they will start to dress themselves, and you're like, ay, what the holy snaggy. So just kind of make sure that, they look a little, I've been known to do that. I would like, it's just what color combos, it's just clash, patterns, you don't want to look like a test pattern. And then after they get their clothes, you're going to have the kids take their showers. Because usually by they're 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, they can take a shower. And then once they take a shower, double check everything, make sure you've done everything on the list. And depending on what time it is, they can go to bed by 8 or 9. If they go to bed at 9, then they eventually will go and watch some TV or whatever. Have a little snack, and then they can go to bed. If your child reads before bed, that's really good. I do that. Sometimes I still do that. My mom does it. She has an e-reader. So, but that's good. And then once they'll go to bed, babies, if you want to use lullabies. If they're still a baby and they're having a hard time going to sleep, just put them on and just let them go. It's a really great set of iTunes you can get. It's Rainforest Lullaby is my favorite. If you want to use it for the babies. Toddlers, yes, you can do that. If they're having a hard time sleeping, just put them on, and then when they're asleep, turn them off and all that. And then just, older kids, they should just go right to bed. If they want to read, you give them a set time for reading, or let them read till they fall asleep. I would just say, give them a set time for reading. Say you have so much time to read, and then they have to go to bed. Just to make sure that they're going to bed at the time and all that kind of stuff, then it's like, make sure you set alarm clocks at this time too, to make sure that they get out of the house on time. Then it's morning. Okay, now I'm going to take you through the morning routine. Now the kids, once they're up, you want to get to the bus about 10 minutes early, because you don't know if the bus is going to show up early or not, and so it's better just to be more safe than sorry kind of a thing. So I would recommend that you go to bed, say not bed, but get to the bus stop like 10 minutes early, something like that. and they can just sit in the car and just kind of chill and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to have them wake up. You're going to have them get dressed. And you're going to have them brush their teeth and fix their hair. That's what you're going to be doing upstairs. What they're going to be doing upstairs. If they're preschoolers, you know, or daycare, you know, sometimes they're going to need help get changing. So make sure that you help them. Maybe if the older kids got dressed first, maybe they can help their younger sibling get dressed. So that would help you save time a little bit as well. And then after you've done all your upstairs stuff, okay, and if they're older and they need the little, you know, deodorant and all that, make sure they put that on and stuff. Now, while they're doing that, you're going to be downstairs. You're going to be fixing, make sure, you know, cereal bowls out, all that kind of, just nukes, pancakes, all that kind of stuff. Make your coffee, however you make it. I have a K-cup, so I'll be making my dad, I call it anti-coffee juice, but, you know, I'll be making my dad coffee and the Keurig and all that. So by the time they get downstairs, breakfast is nice and hot and ready to go. Have them eat that. If there's time before you leave, and then after breakfast, have them get on their shoes. If there's time, have them watch a little bit of TV, if they so desire. And then after that, get the backpacks on, and then you drive them to school or drive them to the bus stop. You wait for the bus stop, and you have a nice, pleasant morning. You didn't have any fighting. And you do that every single night. There you go. Now, when should I start this? Because I want to try this routine. I want to see if this works, mkgtweety. What do you suggest? I would say about a week before school is to start. You're going to say, I learned a new back-to-school routine. We're going to try it out for a week. We're going to see how you like it. We're going to see how, okay? So, and this is when you want to start to get their bodies ready to go to bed early. Because I know they've been staying up during the summer and all this kind of stuff. But you got to get their bodies ready to go back to school and start school, you know, go to bed a little earlier. So if you try that and just say, we're going to try this for a little bit and see how you like it. Okay. Now, since it's before school, and we're gonna just try out the routine for a week and see how you like it, see how they like it, and just pretend to, like, okay, here's our backpacks, we put them there, we've made our lunches, we've blah, 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 blah. And then that way they'll get used to the routine and they say, well, did you like it? Did you not like it? What could we do to improve? And then try that out and see how it works. Now, if you tried out the routine and it works for you, you know, you can leave a comment down below. If you want to, I'm open. I will reply back to people. So if you leave me a comment and all that kind of stuff, I do reply back. And all that kind of stuff. There is a before and after school routine. And I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you love that. I hope it works for you. I just think that if you do everything the night before with the Act 7 plan, you're going to have a much more pleasanter morning, a lot more smooth morning. And why do I say that the school, you know, the older, because you're downstairs making breakfast, you can't be upstairs while they're, you know. So if they said, okay, you know, I'll help my baby sister get her clothes on for daycare or whatever. You know, that would be okay. You know, they're just they're helping out mom a little bit. Let's put it here that way. And then when they come downstairs, they can get their shoes on and all that kind of stuff. But I hope you enjoyed that. I will smell you later, digital peeps. I know I haven't been at YouTube in a while, but don't worry. Band footage is coming relatively